Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I am Jean Lexter and Lacheras, and together with Mr. Mark Vinyas, and we will be going to discuss this KM food security. Okay, so first, let's discuss what is a food security. It is when all people have regular access to enough nutritious food to live a healthy and attractive life. They have improved the life with foods and of course improving access to land and governments to ensure the system storage and proper distribution of surplus food. So in this food security, we have two proper storage. First, we have a buffer stock. Ito yung nakatabi na food for if ever that there is a crisis happens, meron tayong mailalabas. Ito yung parang stock or it is a reserve if ever that food insufficiency comes. So next we have a public distribution system. This is where the food na ibinebenta natin sa labas ng bansa at saka yung mga binebenta natin locally or dito lang sa Pilipinas ay tinatrack. This also include the food that distribute sa mga nasalanta ng bagyo. And this public distribution system, kaya nila tinatrack yung food, it is for them to know kung sobra na ba ang inilalabas nating pagkain or ibinebenta nating pagkain sa labas. Kasi baka mamaya ah labas tayo ng labas ng pagkain pero tayo pala ay nauubusan na tayo ng stock. Okay. Food security access in all of the food in the country to ensure if there is a crisis in a food in a specific country on tracking the food nalalaman nila kung ano yung nanganganib sa pagkain sa bansa at sa gayon ay magagawa ng government ng paraan. Okay, so let's next slide po. Okay, so we have here the role of food security. So, SPFS or Special Program of Food Security, it is the base. Sila yung nagtatrack if there is a food insufficiency. So, parang sila yung samahan na kung saan they are researching, di ba? Parang hinahanap nila, sila agad yung pupuksa if there is a food insufficiency. Kasi kapag may nakita silang kapag may napansin sila na may mali na, so dadako naman sila dito sa TCOS. So they will have a coordination. The TCOS is or techno-economics is SPFS. If SPFS is the field, so sila yung nakakita what food is critical that is need to resecure and increase. So after they seen that there is a food problem, they will make a project and propose it to the TCOS, where TCOS will broaden the project, like what process that they need to do, and that is what we call feasibility report. Yeah. So, gagawa sila ng mga feasibility report itong SPFS and they will pass it to the techno-economics. And they will also make a market survey. They will know in the market. So, malalaman nila sa market if the proposed project of the SPFS is right. Doon na din papasok ang modernization, diversification, and all of the projects or any projects with a technical and industrial project to secure the food in the TCOS. Okay, let's move on to the SA SAIMS. It is the Asia Information Management System. This is overall project in Asia. Kapag super laki na ng project na pinopropose at hindi kinaya ng isang country, they can propose it in SAIMS. This seems like you were asking to help to make a project in a specific country. Okay, so this is SAIMS is an organization of the ASEAN. It is an organization of the Asian countries. Okay, di ba? So, sabi ko kanina, if na-track ng SPFS ang food insufficiency in a specific country, and then kailangan nilang mapavalidate ito sa TCOS. So if the TCOS thinks that this specific country na may problema sa food insufficiency, ay hindi nila magagawa niyo ng paraan, maaari silang lumapit sa SAIMS. So itong SAIMS ay isang samahan ng na maaaring tumulong to overcome this food insufficiency in a specific country. Kung yung project na yon kailangan nila ng malaking technical and industrial, yung mga ganung bagay, like machinery, yan, pwede silang lumapit sa SAIMS. Okay, so next we have the PMU, Project Management Unit. So after the report, kung kaya ng PMU na aprobahan ng PMU at suportahan any financially, then they will support and send it to FAO. Okay, FAO is the Food and Organizational Agriculture. They are the government partners. Sila yung nagde-decide about the right policies and programs that need to be done to, para mas mapabilis ang paggawa ng project na kailangan nilang gawin. Okay. Next, we have the FAO. It is the project unit, which is where the TCOS has been done on its task, which is to create a feasibility report, market survey and modernization, diversification program, and technical for industrial projects. They need to be passed on the PNU, and this FAO will create the right policies and programs to have a smooth process on making the project that was proposed. Okay, so let us kunyari, itong proposed project ay naaprubahan ng PMU. Hindi pa dun natapos yung approval. Kailangan pa din siyang aprubahan ng FAO. Okay? If ever na maaprubahan ng FAO at FAO thinks that they can give the budget that they need for that specific project, and then yung hindi sila lalapit sa SAIMS. If ever naman na ma-decline or hindi aprobahan ng FAO ang project na pinropose ni SPFS, doon na siya, and that's the time that yung nagpropose ng project will go to the SAIMS. Okay? So next we have LIFDCS. After the whole process, dito malalaman kung after the whole process, dito natin malalaman kung ang isang bansa na iyon, isang other developed country. Ito yung country that has poverty, lack of food, where they have no right process or right process on securing food which need. So dito napapasok yung SIMS, yung nga sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina. Siya yung tutulong kasi di na kaya ng local government gawa ng project at hindi na kayang suportahan ng isang project to overcome this crisis. So, LIFDCS, siya yung parang nagva-validate kay FAO if the budget na need to, na kailangan doon sa budget ay sa project ay kaya ba talagang sustentuhan. Okay, so LIFDCS inang bahala doon. Okay, next po. Okay, we have the problematic analysis. One of the purpose of problematic analysis is to reconstruct a logical framework and evaluation to create a relevance and effective and efficiency factors based on FAO. So the FAO has, ito kasing FAO has an 8 pillars that given in bridging the rural digital divine framework. We are making this problematic analysis para mapadali, para mas matukoy natin what is the real problem. Okay, problematic analysis will fall to TCOS para ma-approve ni PMU at para ma-approve ni PAO. Okay, parang lang yon, pabalik-balik lang yon. Parang propose ka lang ng proposed until ma-approve yung iyong proposed project. So, this problematic analysis identifies the overriding problem and establishing the causes and effects related to the problems. So na-identify ni problematic analysis ang cause ng problem And ano yung epekto ng problem na ito in a country? Ano? It is also refers to a complex cluster of interrelated problems that recur. The study adopted in a logical framework designed for terminal evaluation employing problematic analysis. The terminal evaluation was conducted within the following parameters. So, SAIMS problematic has a two factor, which is the subordinate influential factor and subordinate influential factor. Okay? Next, mamaya ko po ipapaliwanag itong subordinate influential factor. Okay, the project. Okay. One of the government of Asia, which is Japan, support a special FAO's special project of Asia for security project in 4 country. Since Japan is known in technology, kaya siya sumuporta sa project para ma-improve yung security ng food insecurity nitong country na to, ng 4 country na to. Na kailangan nila ng technology. So since ang Japan ang kilala sa mga technology, so nagbigay siya ng support in Bangladesh, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, and Lao PDR. Okay? Next slide po. Okay, so the establishment. SAIM was primarily established to provide information support to SPFS Asia. One of the major obstacles to the enabling functions of the SPFS is the lack of access to relevant informations, as well as the standardized classifications and definitions that would ensure comparability and integration of the results of SPFS projects. So one of the reasons why Japan supports of the FAO's special project for food insecurity is the lack of information. Kulang sila sa information, parang they need kasi na mas maraming information and problematic analysis. And kasi itong problematic map informations need to improve and need kasi ma-improve, and of course they need to support of technology and improvement of problematic analysis of each country. Okay, and these objectives, the objectives of SAIMS is to have technology and improve the information and the technology that they use in agriculture, like machineries, in processing the food. They also need to make way on how to produce food in a high-tech way. This objective is to have wants to have improved knowledge about their problematic analysis. Okay, next we have this workflow. Next slide po. Okay, and this stakeholders, we have here the farmers. Syempre naman, if there is no farmers, we won't have food. And then information professionals and researchers, senior managers, and policy. So there are 2 different stakeholders, and and first is the primary stakeholders, and the second is the potential stakeholders. Okay, and the input. Okay, in the input, system design and development. The system was designed, developed, and launched with GILW with the active participation of FAORAP. Next slide po. Hardware and separate provision, workstations, notebook computers, and digital cameras were provided to each PMU and the RCO. Of course, the system maintenance and back-end administration. The Information Management Officer of FAORAP administers the back-end. The capacity building simulations were conducted, as well as specialized follow-on training courses. Helpdesk and listserv support. A listserv was initiated in 2003 for the sharing of comments and suggestions on the workflow. Next is the technical assistance. Technical assistance is regularly provided by the Information Management Officer of FAORAP and staff from GILF, supplemented by occasional consultants' inputs. Next po. And for our output, we have a database of technologies developed or tested and lessons learned through the SPFS, improved national capacities of the four countries to manage information for food security and agricultural development, collaborative links for information exchange in the Asia or Pacific to special interest networks, non-governmental organizations, and other relevant international, regional, and national organizations, building upon the experience and knowledge available in FAO's WAICNT. Okay? And for the product, SAIMS publishes information in the four national SPFS Asia web pages and the regional SPFS Asia website. As stated, the system generates two types of information for this website. First, we have the SPFS program highlights at the country and regional levels. Next is the SPFS technologies. Yeah, next part. Okay, let's move on to the project workflows. Okay, there are two different types of workflow, which is the national workflow and the regional workflow. In the national workflow, we have here what they call the PMU editor. The editor is allowed to create, in PMU editor, the editor is allowed to create a highlight and send it to further editing by the PMU approver. The editor also modifies and deletes records. Once the record has been sent to the PMU approver, it cannot be recalled or modified by the editor. Once daw na ang record and ay naipasa sa PMU editor at ito ay for example naipasa na ito sa PMU editor and then may napansin ka na mali yung input mo ganyan it cannot be recalled or modified by the editor kasi ito kasi they are for example the information ay pinasa nyo inilalagay na lang nila ng inilalagay hindi na nila binabasa yung content. Okay, next we have the project management unit. The project management unit approver can modify, send back or approve highlight record and send on to FAOR for further approval. This project management unit, namomodify pa nila na pwede pa nilang ibalik yung mga record and send to FAOR para for further approval. Okay. Next, we have the regional coordination approver. This can modify, send back, publish a record as well as modify and unpublish the highlight record once it is live on the web. Ito naman regional coordination approver. Maaari nilang ma-modify, ma-send back po ulit. Even if it was posted na in the web, kaya pa nila nitong ma-unpublish. Okay? Next, let's move on to our regional workflow. In our regional workflow, we have here regional coordinator editor. The editor is allowed to create a highlight and send it for further editing by the RC approver. The editor also modifies and deletes records. Once the record has been sent to the RC approver, it cannot be recalled or modified by the editor. Okay, next we have the regional coordinator approver. The regional coordinator approver is the final node in the web publishing workflow. The RC role is to improve highlight records for population and then publish them directly on the web. The regional coordinator declares both the national and the regional highlights to be published in the respective website. Okay, next part. Okay. Okay, this project kasi it can improve the national food security. Ano, may iwasan natin ang pagkagutom. Ano yung if ever there is a sakuna or kailangan natin ng pagkain, at least merong maibibigay yung government kasi there are food na nakastore. Ano, it also improved collaboration between agencies and sectors. Okay, there are key factors for relevance, effectiveness, and efficiency. First, we have it builds upon existing systems. It builds capacities. It strengthens partnerships and participation. It utilizes a realistic approach to technologies. It generates locally adopted content. It addresses diversity if it provides access and empowerment, and it considers information costs. Next slide po. Okay. Next, the project cycle generally provides for 4 evaluation points in a project's lifetime. Okay, we have here what we so-called ex ante evaluation. It is a benchmarking exercise conducted at the very beginning of the project. It seems like the SPFS, it is the base. Parang sabi ko nga sa inyo, but the SPFS, I need to track if there is a food insufficiency. Parang nag-research, di ba? Parang ito din yung gawain ex ante evaluation. And midterm evaluation, it conducted to assess project relevance, effectiveness, and efficiency given project inputs, objectives, and outputs. So, kinokonduct nito and ina-assess nito yung project na pinopose ang relevance nito and effectiveness and efficiency and its efficiency. And in terminal evaluation, it usually does not cover impact and sustainability since it would be premature to measure both immediately after a project ends. And ex post evaluation, generally conducted 2 years after project termination, would address project impact and the overall goal, purpose, and sustainability of effects. Dito na natin malalaman yung kung yung bang project, uh, ano ba yung effect, ano ba yung naging outcome. Okay, next po. Kuya Mark?
Yes po.
Hey, ito.
Opo, ako na po yan.
Okay.
So for the SAMS network, so the findings on output one, the SAIMS network are similarly direct. The system is functional and the network is operational. So SAIMS currently has a regional network of national or and regional nodes composed of editors and approvers for highlights and technologies in all four SPFS Asia countries. So yung daw SAIMS ay currently ay meron siyang regional network ng national at regional nodes na kinokompose ito ng mga editors and approvers para sa highlights and technologies sa 4 na SPFS Asia countries. For the technologies and highlights, so the database of technologies developed, tested, and lessons learned through the SPFS is a bit more complicated since the evaluation is not limited to the establishment and functionalities of SAIMS database. It also deals with both volume and quality of content. So next slide po. So volume of technologies published according to source. An analysis of the SMIS backend would reveal that the technologies database is substantively populated. So yung ano base daw dun sa analysis sa SMIS backend ay nare-reveal daw dito na yung database technologies ay sobrang ay populated. Volume of technologies published according to year. With 48 published technologies from 2002 to 2005, the average number of publications amounts to 12 per year. So mula 2002 hanggang 2005 ay merong 48 na published technologies at ito ay nag-a-amount sa 12 publications kada taon. Volume of highlights published according to source. With the number of published entries in the highlights database at 71, highlights content is substantively more than of those technologies. Next slide po. Volume of highlights published according to year. The distribution of published SMIS highlights approximates the The distribution of published SAIMS highlights approximates the trend found for the technologies with a distinct difference. Observations on volume from other stakeholders. Stakeholders have critically considered the published output of SAIMS. So yung daw mga stakeholders ay kinokonsidera nila yung mga output na na-publish na nung SAIMS. So, quality of technologies and highlights published. To measure the quality of the technologies and highlights published, the evaluator randomly sampled approximately 20% of each database and assessed. So, para daw ma-measure yung kalidad ng mga teknolohiya at ng mga highlights na na-publish, yung daw evaluator ay nag-sample siya randomly ng tumatayang nasa 20% na database and yun na assess. Next slide. So, punta tayo sa SIIMS problematic for the Bangladesh PMU. The SAIMS problematic in Bangladesh indeed suffers from the aforementioned symptoms of low volume of highlights and technologies and quality difficulties in published entries. So yun daw SAIMS problematic sa bansang Bangladesh ay sila daw ay nagsasuffer sa mababang volume ng highlights and technologies at meron silang difficulty sa kalidad ng mga and sa mga published entries sa bansang Bangladesh. Next slide po. So for the Indonesia PMU. So yung problema, yung SIIMS problematic sa Indonesia ay mas komplikado. At nagsasuffer sila sa lack of technologies sa na, na, na nararanasan sa bansang Indonesia ay cause ng apat na superordinate influential factors such as administrative responsibilities, internet connectivity, staff movements, and the AC factor. Next slide. So yun namang PM problematic map sa bansang Lao PDR ay kahalintulad lang siya sa bansang Indonesia. At itong PMU na ito ay based sa National Agriculture and Forestry Extension Services or NAFES but it enjoys the full support of the assistant FAOR in the VN10. So yung difficulty sa quality ay merong isang superordinate influential factor. Ito ay yung paggamit ng English as I as SIIMS medium. Sa kaso ng Indonesia, yung salitang English o yung wikang English ay hindi ginagamit bilang second language. So next slide please. So yun namang problematic map sa bansang Sri Lanka ay nakabase siya sa Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock compound in Colombo. So yung former SPFS team leader ay siya na ngayon yung assistant FAOR. So the fact that the highlights and technology database entries were not part of their signed up deliverables made a difference when the crunch came. Next slide. So yun, tapos na po yung aming presentation ni John Nexter. Thank you.